Have you ever been intrigued by the mysteries of the Galdrabók, an Icelandic grimoire from the 16th century? This ancient text, a blend of pagan and Christian mysticism, has long fascinated scholars, historians, and occult enthusiasts. The enigma of the Galdrabók is a deep and complex field of study that seeks to unpack its secrets. Welcome to Thangs, where we dive headfirst into the occult. The Galdrabók is a comprehensive examination of various spells, incantations, and charms, ranging from simple protection rituals to more ominous invocations. It explores how these spells leverage mystical elements to manipulate, control, and influence their surroundings. The significance of studying the Galdrabók is twofold. Firstly, it gives us insight into the human mind's fascination and susceptibility to mysticism. Secondly, it aids in the development of a comprehensive understanding of the blend of pagan and Christian mysticism prevalent in the 16th century. Contrary to popular belief, the individuals drawn into the study of the Galdrabók are not always weak, naive, or superstitious. Many are ordinary people seeking knowledge, understanding, or answers to life's existential questions. This misconception often leads to the stigmatization and further isolation of those who have been captivated by these ancient texts. The Galdrabók thrives on secrecy, manipulation, and the exploitation of human curiosity. It often presents itself as a benevolent and progressive guide, offering a unique vision of life to its readers. The creators of this text were typically charismatic and persuasive, wielding their influence to subtly erode their followers' ability to think critically. The study of the Galdrabók is a fascinating and complex subject, and it is not limited to religious or spiritual groups. It extends to historical studies, literary analysis, and even certain cultural studies. Understanding the mechanisms at play can be a powerful tool in recognizing and resisting undue influence and manipulation. The Galdrabók is a significant field of study within the broader context of historical and cultural studies. It provides valuable insights into the power dynamics, social influence, and group behavior that characterize human interactions in various contexts. Understanding the Galdrabók is the first step towards demystifying the complex and often misunderstood motivations behind the creation of such texts. The Galdrabók, an Icelandic grimoire dating back to the 16th century, stands as a fascinating artifact that encapsulates the complex intermingling of pagan beliefs and Christian mysticism during a transformative period in Iceland's religious landscape. This manuscript offers a unique glimpse into the magical practices and spiritual worldview of its time, reflecting the syncretism that often occurs at the intersection of converging religious traditions. The Galdrabók is a collection of spells, magical staves, sigils, and rituals that embody a wide spectrum of intentions, from protective charms and health-related spells to more aggressive forms of magic aimed at control or harm. These spells illustrate the practitioner's desire to harness supernatural forces to navigate the challenges of their world, whether those were everyday concerns like healing and protection, or more esoteric ambitions such as gaining prophetic insight or influencing weather patterns. The content of the Galdrabók reveals a sophisticated blend of pre-Christian Norse mythology and the Christian cosmology that had become predominant in Iceland by the time of the manuscript's creation. This synthesis is evident in the way the spells invoke both the names of Norse deities and Christian saints, suggesting a pragmatic approach to spirituality that prioritizes efficacy over doctrinal purity. The use of magical staves in the Galdrabók is particularly notable. These complex symbols, designed to be inscribed or visualized during the performance of spells, draw on a rich tradition of symbolic magic that stretches back to earlier Norse and Germanic practices. The staves are believed to hold power in their shapes and configurations, acting as focal points for the will of the practitioner and the forces they seek to invoke. The Galdrabók also provides insights into the social and cultural context of its time. The blend of pagan and Christian elements within the spells reflects the transitional nature of Icelandic spirituality in the 16th century. This period was marked by the tension between the old beliefs and the new Christian order, with magic serving as a means for individuals to assert some measure of control over their lives in a rapidly changing world. In summary, the Galdrabók is not just a historical curiosity, but a window into the complexity of human belief systems and the ways in which these systems adapt and merge over time. It underscores the enduring human fascination with the unknown and the lengths to which people will go to protect themselves, assert their will, and seek knowledge beyond the material realm. The Galdrabók, as a compendium of 16th century Icelandic magic, contains a variety of spells and rituals that illustrate the depth and breadth of the magical practices of the time. These spells and rituals can be broadly categorized into several types, each serving distinct purposes and reflecting the confluence of pagan and Christian mystical traditions. Delving deeper into the nature of these spells offers insight into their intended effects, the symbolic language used, and the cosmological views they embody. Protective charms and health spells. A significant portion of the Galdrabók is dedicated to protective charms and health-related spells. These were designed to shield individuals, their loved ones, and their possessions from harm, illness, or misfortune. Such spells often involve the creation and use of magical staves, inscribed with specific symbols, to be carried on the person, etched onto objects or placed around homes. The protective magic in the Galdrabók also extends to livestock and property, reflecting the agrarian context of its time, where the well-being of animals and the productivity of the land were paramount. Love spells and personal influence. The Galdrabók contains spells aimed at influencing personal relationships, including love spells. These spells were intended to attract love, bind a person's affection, or even incite passion and desire. The mechanisms of these spells vary, including the use of specific verbal incantations, the creation of talismans, and rituals performed at particular times to align with astrological conditions believed to enhance the spell's effectiveness. Divination and prophecy. Divination and the seeking of prophetic insight form another important category within the Galdrabók. These spells and rituals were designed to uncover hidden knowledge, predict future events, or gain guidance on specific questions or decisions. Techniques for divination in the Galdrabók might involve complex rituals requiring specific preparations, the invocation of spiritual entities, and the interpretation of signs or omens received during the ritual. Offensive magic and binding spells. Not all spells in the Galdrabók were benign. The grimoire also includes spells that could be classified as offensive magic, intended to cause harm, exert control, or bind the will of others. These include curses, spells for inducing sleep or confusion, and bindings to prevent someone from taking action. Such spells reflect the darker aspects of magical practice, where the practitioner seeks to manipulate the will or well-being of others for personal gain or retribution. Syncretism in magical practice. Across these categories, the syncretism of pagan and Christian elements is a consistent theme. Spells may invoke the names of Norse gods alongside Christian saints, or blend Norse mythological symbols with Christian prayers or psalms. This syncretism reflects a pragmatic approach to magic, where the effectiveness of the spell is paramount, irrespective of the religious origins of its components. The spells and rituals of the Galdrabók offer a window into the complex spiritual landscape of 16th century Iceland, where magic served as a tool for navigating the uncertainties of life. They reflect a world where the boundaries between the natural and supernatural were fluid, and where the pragmatic application of spiritual power could address a wide range of human concerns, from the mundane to the existential. The Galdrabók, while renowned for its spells and rituals encompassing protection, love, divination, and offensive magic, also contains lesser-known elements that reveal the intricacies of Icelandic magical tradition and its broader cultural and spiritual contexts. These aspects include the methodology behind creating and activating magical staves, the incorporation of runic elements, the precise instructions for ritual preparations and timings, and the ethical considerations implicit in the use of magic. Creation and activation of magical staves. One of the lesser-known aspects of the Galdrabók involves the detailed methods for creating and activating magical staves or sigils. The creation process is not merely about drawing symbols. It often requires specific materials, such as certain types of wood or ink, precise timing, such as specific phases of the moon, and ritual actions to imbue these staves with magical power. The activation of these staves might involve reciting incantations, making offerings, or performing elaborate rituals designed to awaken the magical forces within the symbols. Runic elements and their uses. The Galdrabók also delves into the use of runic alphabets, not just as a writing system, but as a potent magical tool. The runes, with their deep roots in Norse mythology and cosmology, are employed in various spells for purposes ranging from protection to divination. The manipulation of runic elements in the Galdrabók showcases a sophisticated understanding of the symbolic power of language and its capacity to influence the material and spiritual worlds. Ritual preparations and timings. Another lesser-known aspect of the Galdrabók is the detailed instructions for ritual preparations and timings. These instructions often specify the need for purification rituals, fasting, or the observance of silence for a certain period before performing a spell. The timing of rituals is also crucial, with many spells requiring execution at specific times of day, phases of the moon, or even particular astrological configurations, reflecting a cosmological view in which the alignment of celestial bodies could significantly impact the efficacy of magical work. Ethical considerations and warnings. The Galdrabók, like many grimoires, implicitly addresses the ethical dimensions of magical practice. This is evident in the warnings about the consequences of misusing the spells or invoking powers beyond the practitioner's control. Some spells come with cautions that underscore the responsibility accompanying the use of powerful magic, hinting at a moral and ethical framework within which these practices were intended to operate. Integration of folk beliefs and practices. Beyond the formal spells and rituals, the Galdrabók contains references to folk beliefs and practices, weaving them into the fabric of its magical worldview. This includes the use of common plants, the invocation of land spirits, and practices aimed at protecting against the malevolent forces believed to inhabit the natural world. These elements highlight the integration of high magical practices with the everyday spirituality of the Icelandic people, revealing a world where magic permeated all aspects of life and landscape. Exploring these lesser-known elements of the Galdrabók provides a richer understanding of its significance, not just as a manual of magic, but as a document of cultural and spiritual history. It offers insights into the mindset of its creators and users, their view of the universe and their place within it. A view where magic was a natural and essential aspect of interacting with the world and its unseen forces. As we delve deeper into this fascinating subject, we hope to shed light on the intricacies of ancient mysticism and the power of social influence. Thank you for watching Top Thangs. Sources: The Galdrabók, an Icelandic grimoire, by Stephen E. Flowers. This book is a translation and study of the Galdrabók, offering insights into the spells, rituals, and magical practices found within the grimoire. Flowers provides context and analysis that illuminate the historical and cultural background of the text. Icelandic Magic: Practical Secrets of the Northern Grimoires, by Stephen Flowers. In this work, Flowers delves deeper into the tradition of Icelandic magic beyond the Galdrabók, exploring the broader practices and principles of magic in Icelandic history. The book provides a comparative look at various Icelandic grimoires and magical traditions, offering a comprehensive view of the subject. Witchcraft and Magic in the Nordic Middle Ages, by Stephen A. Mitchell. While not focused solely on the Galdrabók, Mitchell's book provides a valuable context for understanding the place of the Galdrabók within the broader tradition of Nordic magic and witchcraft. It explores the medieval Scandinavian worldview, including beliefs about magic and the supernatural, which is essential for understanding the background against which the Galdrabók was written. These sources can provide a solid foundation for anyone looking to explore the Galdrabók and Icelandic magical practices in depth, offering both specific details about the grimoire itself and a broader understanding of the context in which it was created and used.